Hello everybody, Jeff here from the Quantum Left. I want to speak to you today about Mr. Lockett. Mr. Clayton Lockett was just executed yesterday in Oklahoma. The execution went terribly wrong, mostly because the state was experimenting with a new concoction of what it was supposed to be lethal drugs in order to carry on their executions. And the reason that they're looking for these new concoctions and new drugs for this purpose is because companies that have historically supplied these drugs have actually gotten a conscience and just said we will not sell these to states anymore that are using them for execution. Of course, most of these companies are European based. If there's American based, this probably wouldn't happen. So the American philosophy on execution is actually dead set against it. And so they just decided, well, we're just not going to sell you any more of our medications and drugs if you're going to use them for the purpose of executions. So the states have been scrambling to figure out how to rectify this problem, and they've come up with some new concoctions. And of course, Mr. Lockett and Mr. Warren, who were due to be executed on the same day, had issue. They didn't know what they were going to be executed with, but they knew that the chemical structure and the makeup of the chemicals had changed. They were concerned about this because they also were aware that they were untried and unproven. Well, of course, their pleas for a stay were dismissed, and they were due to be executed yesterday within 2 hours of each other, and Mr. Lockett went first. And the execution went terribly wrong when he was supposed to be unconscious within 30 seconds and dead within 2 minutes. Of course, he's within a death chamber, was surrounded by glass, and there's a viewing gallery of people there to witness the execution. 3 minutes in, he starts writhing with pain. 4 and 5 minutes in, he's groaning and frothing at the mouth. It was 10 minutes before they closed the curtains, so the viewing gallery couldn't see what was going on. And 13 minutes before 13 to 13 and a half minutes before he finally succumbed to the stress that he was under. He was under great stress, and he was pushing all his muscles to full flex, the same as, say, somebody in a seizure. And he gave himself a heart attack, and the cause of death was coronary failure due to heart attack from stress, not from the introduction of the chemicals. So, very disturbing. Quite a few people were in the gallery, from the accounts that I've read, are very disturbed by it. I don't know if they'll ever get over it. I don't even know what they were doing there in the first place and watch this, but it was very disturbing to them. And of course, this has gone around the world. Mary Phelan, who is the governor of Oklahoma, is the one who rejected their stay in the first place. Now, she's given Mr. Wilson a stay because of Mr. Warren a stay because Mr. Lockett's execution went so badly. But she was warned of this months in advance that this might happen, and she refused to stay their execution, and more or less stated that, an inmate is not guaranteed a pain-free death to begin with. And there's some truth in that. They're not. But humanity would state, and human decency would state, that we would make sure that this happens. Our job is not to be cruel and unusual. And if we're going to follow in the footsteps of the perpetrators or the convicted people who were committing these crimes, if we're going to play the game at their level, what moral high ground do we have to stand on at all? Or do we have any to stand on? We cannot be party to the same actions that put the person in jail in the first place. We cannot allow that to happen. If we're party to the very same sort of ideology that allowed Mr. Lockett to commit the crimes in the first place, that sent him to prison, are we any better? I don't think that would be possible. It would be hard for me to fathom that what we could be doing could be good at all. So it's important to understand that when you're talking about an eye for eye mentality, and a lot of this down the States is in God we trust, and this is some kind of Christian justice. Well, the teachings of Jesus didn't talk anything about this. And Mary Phelan very clearly said that this was a righteous act, and quoted Jesus. I was aghast by that because I've read the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth several times, and I don't see anything in there but executions, humane or inhumane ones. As a matter of fact, Jesus is very, very clearly against any form of capital or corporal punishment. No matter which book you read, at no time does Jesus ever condone any sort of killing. So, don't Governor Phelan, don't say that you're doing this in the name of God and the people and what have you. This has nothing to do with anything. This is just a fallacy. The truth of the matter is that this is revenge. It's blind justice. It's immoral. And two wrongs will never make a right. And this is wrong. Now, if Mr. Lockett did kill a 19-year-old girl, he is wrong. There is no doubt about that. There's nobody going to condone that. Nobody with any sense. But with the history of the American legal system, there's at least a 30% chance that Mr. Lockett is innocent. And with those kinds of numbers, I can't imagine how one would dare take the chance to extinguish a life with that high of a possibility that they might be innocent. I think that this is something we really need to think about as a society. And executions are something that we really need to put in our past and mark as a terrible footnote in human history. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you all again real soon. Cheers.